Welcome back to Honestly Rated, and today we're going to be talking about your favorite robot dragon, Drobot slash Drobit. I don't think these two have a difference, and the person that requested it is requesting Drobit, so he will be the main focus, this little guy. And again, I don't think there's a main difference. I looked for myself with characters and equal levels, and I've also looked online. Some people say there is, some people say there isn't. If you guys have like a definitive thing and where I can look, that would be nice, just because trying to figure these things out while looking and seeing so many different opinions is kind of hard. So I'm just going to put them all here today. Just again, someone did request Drobit, and maybe everything goes well. So here we are. Let's actually talk about the character. A little insight before we go into it. He is not great, but not bad. And the reason I don't think he's great is that he has a lot of blandness to him. He's not really having that flavor to him. And I never understood the hype around Drobot. And maybe, me being older and maybe more wise, and I was looking at a character more speculatively, maybe I would think I'm a little higher in today's regard. But I still really couldn't find what made him so popular. And I'll talk about it all when we go into his moves and all that. I just want to say thank you guys for watching this video, and also thank you for watching all the other videos that I've been posting out recently. For some reason, there was this weird influx of just people popping in, and it's been super nice to see everybody chatting and all that, and it does really make my day. So, I'm going to make your guys' day by filling your requests. So leave down in the comments what you want to see for the next Honestly Rated, and I'll pick it for you guys. Last thing is, Merry Christmas Eve, and I promise there will be another Christmas video by tomorrow that you guys can watch with the whole family. Why not? So, let's go into the first two moves of Drobit. The first two moves for Drobit is a Mega Blaster and Tactical Blade Gears. These two moves I like to call the yin and yang of moves. This is a set of moves that really just do the opposite of the other. So we'll go with the blasters first. The blaster is a primary shooter that really locks in at one target, shoots very fast, but does very low damage. But then if you go to the Blade Gears, these shoot more outwards, more around that single target, do more damage, but shoot slower. It's very different comparatively to other Skylanders, where usually they have like a primary move, and then their special move usually is a setup move, or something that does lingering, or works in a totally different way than the other thing. But this is basically the same thing. They're both shooting, but they both do different directions. One's more middle ground for one enemy, the other one's meant for two enemies like this. And it does work. You could use it to shoot at one enemy, but you actually have to aim it. As you saw with that green guy, I totally fucking missed because I'm stupid. You could get close enough also to kind of almost hit him with both of them. I don't like that though, just because Drobit is actually a very slow character. Doesn't really look like it, but it is kind of hard to actually get away from things. But that's where his next move comes in. The first move you can buy, Thruster Flight, is his actual special move, which doesn't normally happen. But this special move doesn't... I don't like it. I don't like this special move. And that's because it allows him to fly. Drobit slash Drobot was from the first series of games, Rise of Adventure, which most dragons in there, if not all, learned the ability to fly, which allows them to go faster and be more resilient in the sky. That does not matter anymore. Because you couldn't jump back then, maybe this probably was a lot of a better move. But after we can jump now, because we got that fancy little X button on the bottom of our controller, it really becomes obsolete. Drobit kind of needs it. He is pretty slow as one of the dragon characters, so flying around is kind of nice. But it's very hard to turn. It's like turning a shopping cart with one of those really squeaky broken wheels, where you have to kind of just keep like pushing and pushing and pushing until eventually it wants to turn. And that's how it feels. Drobit can also shoot his blades and his lasers through this. But you see right here, like I am not turning fast enough to actually hit the enemies. And I don't like it. After I got the video recording, I honestly never used this move ever again because I just don't like it. I really don't. The blades do come out the back end, so I guess you could run away from enemies and shoot it out. But since there is not a blade that comes out from, the straight back ofness of it, it doesn't really do much. So I really think it should have shot forward, but that's my thing. There's going to be another move that allows them to fly, which I think does it a lot better than this one because it lets you kind of turn a little nicer, and we'll get to there when we do. This is where some of the bland criticisms comes in. Galvanized Blade Gears and Axon Falcon's Twistles are both the same thing, increased damage. And that takes up a whole slot for Drobit slash Drobot. I really hate that I have to keep saying that, but I really shouldn't. I should just say Drobit. It really does. It really does. And I think I said this before for someone else I've done, maybe Ghost Roaster or one of the other Sparrow's Adventure characters. It really just makes a character bring him down a little because I have to look through an honest view. And honestly, do these really do much for you? Not really. Drobit's a little bit less that because the attack one for his blasters, they do 1 point damage more. Look at it. It's doing 12 now. One? Are you kidding me? I know it goes fast, but one is insane. At least with the blade gears, it does go up a little bit more. It goes up like 10 because now it's doing 32. And it's a little bit nicer. So the blade gears have a little bit more purpose to me just because I really don't like the diagonal look of it. But future upgrades, they always help. But it still sucks. And this is one of the criticisms that will be dragging through Drobit a good amount. Now for the last move before we go to paths, our hover mode. Drobit can now hover, so if you hold down triangle, you hover. And I think this is better than the flying. One reason is that I get to move wherever I want pretty quickly. This is a pretty fast move. The startup is a little dicey, but it is a nicer moving style. And you stay focused into one area. It's also kind of hard to hold. I had to put like my middle finger onto triangle and then pointer finger to press the other buttons. This works exactly like flying. Is it creative for this character? No. But do I like it more than the hover? Yes. So after this, hovering is not really my to-go, but it's still nice, I guess. It's, again, nothing crazy. It doesn't really add anything like that nice. I don't know when you would really want to use hover. I really can't think of a scenario just because the hover itself doesn't do anything. It just allows you to go faster. I don't know if the resilience is still there from what the flying one does, but hey man, it's a move. It's the last move you need to get. So yeah, and with that, that's the whole primary path. And again, blandness out the wazoo isn't really that nice. It's like if the moveset really got made by an AI robot. Now we go to the top path, which deals with this blaster with the Dendrite Focus Crystals and Antimatter Charges. First move, very nonsensical. It's a very, again, nothing burger. It does more damage for you, makes your eye beams blue. Yippee wahoo! Not much there. And it's also like 1 damage more again, so nice. We were getting a little salt flake onto our damage, and it spices things right up. The next thing is the explosion thing, where it says, like, if you hit someone, it will do a little explosion, and it will hit nearby enemies, which it does. It's very little. It's not a big radius, but I do see it at times when I can see enemies bumping elbows next to each other. It does more damage, so another one that does more damage. But to be fair, is there really much else you can do with a blaster? Not really. The only thing else I can think of is add more blasters to the blasters. And luckily, for me, that's the next one! With quadratic blasters. Shoot extra lasers out of your wings. This one, I actually kind of like. I don't know why. I'm one of those type of people that like actually just seeing a bunch of damage just pop up on you. And this does exactly that. It shoots blasters out of your wings. It works also when you fly. I didn't really show it off just because who gives a shit about flying? It's the exact same fucking thing if you stand still. I get to shoot blades out of my ass. But, yeah, this is just another one you could see a lot more damage. This is doing roughly now 20 more damage. This is doing more damage. This added more damage than the actual fucking more damage upgrade, which is insane to me. And it looks nice. I personally like just seeing a bunch of it. One slight criticism of it though, the blasters do get kind of annoying though, because you hear so much of like the, you know, like the, it does get a little annoying at points. But all over that, I like it, and it's something, you know. It's the only thing they could probably really think of. Let's talk about the first two at the bottom path. Depleted uranium blade gears and explosive blade gears. One makes it do more damage, and one is explosive. And even though we got the Drobot profile pictures right there, we got Drobot in the flesh doing shit. So, there you go. You see, Drobot was in here. But, did you notice something? When I said those two things, did that spark anything in you? It should have, because those are the two exact same fucking moves for the top two. They're the exact same thing. One does damage, which is the first one. The other one fucking explodes like the second one. They are in the exact same order and do the exact same thing. I'm dying. My body that can't even understand it either. I don't know why. And again, I could keep talking about this. I could keep battering on to you that these moves are the same thing, just labeled differently, and it hurts Drobot. But I feel like I become a broken record. I feel like I became a broken record right when I started reading off some of the moves, and it sucked because it does bring down this character. So it's like writing an essay and you want to talk about this part, but you can't really think of anything else. So you kind of like repeat this part over and over and over again, just to hope that you can flesh out your essay long enough to the point where it hopefully makes you get a better grade. But usually people can read through it and notice that you are desperate to find something to do. Now with the last move, maybe everything could be different. The Tridred Blade Gears. What does this do? Can this please be something different? No. This shoots out 3 Blade Gears, which is the exact same top path where the last one shot more than it was supposed to. Man, like, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, it's the same thing. So I could just label the same points from here to there. It doesn't really matter to me. I do like this one a little bit, though, just because it does kind of make the blades a little bit more compact when shooting out in, like, a beginning direction, which can usually hit the same target a little bit more consistently. But it's crazy, man. They could they even think about, like, just making one of them, like, bounce off of walls? Like, that's a common move. Just do that. At least it would have been different. Now on to the Soul Gems with Afterburners, which is actually something different. We fly faster, and Afterburners deal damage to enemies, and also knocks back. And I like this one. The Afterburners themselves are kind of big, so when you actually like throw them out, like right there, you can hit them from the side, you can hit them from the back. It's a little finicky on the sides though, and it launches them backwards, which is nice. Who doesn't like knockback? I love knockback because knockback is a very cheesy thing to do, especially during harder gameplays. It's definitely nice to have something to be able to get rid of a horde a little quicker, and this does work. I like it. Not much else to say. It works how you want it to work. You know, Drobot's a very single character specific like shooter. You really need to shoot at one thing and not really all things at once. And with that, this works pretty well. You know, you get to knock them back, turn around, shoot at them. They're still on the ground. Gives you enough time. And that time lets you ponder about other things. For our last move, Supreme Blade Gear. This is the Wow Pow for Series 2. This allows you to shoot out your Blade Gears, and it will turn into this big saw that you get to control, which is a little bit better for area damage. You will get knocked out of it after you get hit once, usually, unless you got like the shielded protection thing. It's not the greatest soul gem, but it's definitely not the worst. I definitely see I actually see like some like there's some use to it, you know? Like it does not the worst damage, you know, 28, 28, 28, 28, 28. It reshoots out the blades too right at the end of it. If you can't really like directly hit people with it, because if you hit people with it, it'll take away the blades, and if you take away the blades, you can't really bring it out. So you have to kind of like aim away from them and then loop it back in. Sometimes it does work, but sometimes it doesn't. I guess it depends on how many blades you actually got to connect onto the people, just how it works. But definitely not the worst, but not near the best. After looking through this piece of machinery, what do I rate him out of my little scale of 5? I give him a 2. And that's not because I don't like how he plays. I'm fine with like the blasting and the rotary blades coming out and all that shit. I find it fine. And I find him not to be the weakest, but definitely not the strongest, which would put him roughly around a 3 in strength-wise, alright? But we're looking at him honestly. And critically, I have to look at a lot of things. This critical factor looks into his moveset in general, and the blandness really brings him down just that extra step. Brings him down below average. And it sucks, because, again, Drobot's pretty cool, and I can see why I really didn't appeal to him when I was younger. I definitely see a lot of people saying he likes him, and if you like him, that's fine. Not this series, again, with, like, rating things, is never to diminish people from liking what they like. It's more of, like, you know, a collective of my idea, and just reasons why, you know, I dislike or like a certain character. And everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So, thank you for the person who requested this. I'm hoping that this doesn't shatter you. It really shouldn't. Again, it's just me. I'm just a single person. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what you think. And if you find enjoyment in these people, enjoy yourself. But which one would I buy? I would probably just buy a Series 1 or maybe the Mini if you really like it. Don't really go for the second series. I really don't like the second series Soul Gem that much, and I really don't think it's that worth it. But if you really want to drop that $20 on it, go for it. It's all up to you, but Hope you guys have a nice Christmas. Make every day a nice day. And I'll see you in the next one for Honestly Rated. Peace.